I'm going to break down exactly how to simplify sales calls so you have a seamless process to turn prospects into buyers. And I see so many people make the big mistake, which I'm going to share at the end, which I bet you're probably making right now. And if you haven't already, make sure you smash the subscribe button because we're going to drop some bombs on this. So firstly, the big mistake most people start with out the gate is when you start a sales call, sales resistance is very, very high. What you want to think about is not actually trying to force the person to buy something. You want to create the environment where they feel safe that they can actually buy. And that comes getting them to drop their sales resistance. So one of the things I like to talk about is the Sleepy Grandad approach, where what I would start a sales call with is like, to be honest, Joe, thanks for jumping on the call, but reality is I'm not actually sure if we can really help you, but like, I guess we'll find out if we can. Like, I've never found anyone I can't help, but you could be the first and I'm going to be completely stuck here, but let's find out, I guess. At that point, I'm thinking like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Is he like retarded? Like, I'm on this call and he's going to try and sell me something, but he's not selling me. So it almost confuses them. They think you're a bit retarded and you almost like laid back. So the sales resistance starts to drop. But what you do is you sharpen up as the call comes on. Because what you're doing is you're leaning back and getting more relaxed at the beginning. You let them come into you, which is then letting you start to step forwards and come into the call and get sharper and sharper and ask better questions when their guard's down. So the most important thing is you actually need to create a safe environment where they feel comfortable and they're actually willing to buy. Same thing, selling is not convincing. It's persuading and helping people connect the dots in their head. They would not be on the call if they've shown up if they didn't have a problem. You have the solution. The job is you get the connection in their brain to them to identify how whatever you do or whatever your program does is the solution for that. And that's the job of the call, is you basically give them the right information so they make the decision themselves. You do not have to make it for them. You help them to literally connect the dots in their head of saying, here's the big thing I'm struggling with. Here's this thing Charlie's showing me that he does with his own fitness business. He does with loads of other clients. Like, they're generating leads with all these people. They're showing me on the computer how I do it. At that point, it's impossible. This wouldn't work if I joined it as well. I should definitely do this. That's how you get them to connect the dots, because there's like irrefutable evidence. This is definitely something that will work. So what you want to focus on doing is helping people make their own decisions for their own reasons. And some of this also comes into actually helping people understand human emotions and not just getting people to buy off fucking logic, because ultimately, the biggest thing that drives human behavior is emotions. We're not robots as much as we wish, and like we haven't got the AI chips in our head yet. Human beings buy off emotion, not just logic. And this is a really important thing to understand. Now, bad sales experience stems from one very simple thing: trying to pressurize a customer into buying something where they don't fully understand the value or they're not interested, which then creates these objection handling loops. And this is why sales gets a very dirty word, and people feel very uncomfortable either selling or buying because they've been put in these very uncomfortable situations. And this is where either the prospect hasn't been articulated exactly like why they're on the call for the first part, or B, they actually have no real belief in you as a business that you can actually solve their problem, or they don't trust you as a human being. And if they don't trust you, that's probably for one reason. They probably smell commission breath, which is something you want to avoid. Next thing is in terms of people buy on feelings, which I mentioned earlier, and emotions. Like, we're emotional creatures. So the more you can get someone to understand you as a person, and you can get some rapport built at the beginning of the call when the guard's down, and you understand them, the easier it's going to be. One of the things you need to get on every single sales call, and you need to write this down, you need to know if they have a partner, their partner's name. You need to know if they have kids, their kids' names. Because if you're going to be speaking to a man, what's the most important thing? His children. So if you start to drop their names in the conversation, like, Joe, how would you feel when little Jimmy's looking up to you, super proud of like the amazing family home you built for them, or the amazing family holiday you've taken on the Maldives because your business is now so successful? How do you think that make you feel? That's the type of conversation you need to be having. Now, an easy way to make the sales process also easier is thinking like this: what does a prospect actually want? And a lot of the time, people actually try and sell people on features and benefits the other person doesn't really give a shit about. So one of the best things you can always ask them is, like, say if they've worked with another similar business, like, what did you enjoy about working with so-and-so? Was there anything you liked, anything you disliked? If they say they disliked about working with another fitness coach because there wasn't much one-to-one support relationship with the coach, what do you think you should probably try and sell them on? The relationship with the coach and one-to-one support with you. And that's where a lot of the time people want to be sold, but it's your job to ask the right question for them to open up and put their hand up and be like, this is what I want. And if anyone ever does a two-part close, which is something I'd recommend if you're going to sell a higher ticket offer, so like maybe 5K above, or if you've got the time to do it generally, you'll get more closes, in particular if it's on colder leads. With the second call, what I would start with is like, okay, Joe, so it's great to speak a couple of days ago. What was the thing you took the most from that you enjoyed speaking about and you're most excited about from the call we had on Monday? And they would tell you what they enjoyed about that call, what was interesting. And that's basically what you need to sell them. And again, people identify what they want to be sold and they'll tell you, because that's specifically what they want to talk about. If, for example, you're speaking to a fitness client and you also cater to vegans and not vegan, they don't give a fuck about you talking about vegan nutrition plans, right? They want you to sell them on what exactly they want. Now, a couple of things that are huge on calls. One, statistically, you need to take calls on Zoom, video calls. Now, there's a couple of different reasons to do that. One is tonality in terms of body language, like sitting forward, being interested, like when you're making a point, the way you open up in terms of body language, not sitting there like this. Like, you could really express yourself, and it's hard for a person to say no to you face to face. So a video call is a huge thing. I'd highly recommend everyone does. The second thing is tonality and energy on the call. So often I speak, listen to sales call recordings, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? They're literally like, yeah. It's like a call center, and that's exactly why these people are interested. And the quickest way for you to improve your sales closing is to have high energy, high enthusiasm, and maximal certainty. And certainty in terms of you can change the prospect's life by what your program offers. And the quickest way in terms of determining this is if you think about closing rate is determined by sales skill times conviction. It will take you a while to get better at sales, but you can get better at conviction like that. If you get your best client transformations, testimonials, reviews, you read those, look at those before the call, like, holy shit, I'm the fucking don of getting people in shape and changing their lives. And you go into the call like that you're the top G of fitness coaches and you help people drop body fat and add 10 years to life, do you think the confidence you're going to exude is going to come across? Yes. And that's a huge thing you need to carry into the call that's really going to help you in terms of getting the prospect to feel comfortable, and they will feel your certainty. Because so often I listen to sales calls where people are uncertain in the salesperson, I can hear it in their voice, and the prospect hears that. And then they get doubt, which is why they don't buy. Which is like whenever I ever speak to anyone about joining 7-figure scaling systems, I say without doubt, we have 1,000% certainty, we have the best mastermind in the world to help anyone in terms of growing their business. And I can factually show them why on screen and go through our own fitness business, other clients' businesses, and show what we do. It then becomes a no-brainer. And you need that certainty in terms of what you do in every sales call, so people believe in you and like, holy fucking shit, this could be the golden bullet that changes my life. And a very easy hack that a lot of people don't think about. What do you actually wear on sales calls? So don't turn up to a sales call and you're a fitness trainer and you're wearing like a gym bro vest and you look a bit slobby, back of your office is a fucking mess, and you're going to try and sell an executive on LinkedIn a high ticket program. Probably not relatable. If you're well dressed, you've got a nice polo shirt on, you're well spoken, you look well presented, that goes a long way. And these are some of the simple things to set yourself up for success. And I'll even give another interesting example of this. I've noticed with a couple of clients, like they'll go traveling and then their sales and closing rate will drop a lot, but it's because they sometimes stay in a shitty place. When I travel, I'll stay in somewhere that's baller. Obviously, yes, I can afford it, which is fair enough, but also respect that my mindset is like high level. So I'm like, cool, I feel really good. This place is really sick. I feel happy. That energy carries over. And this is why it's so important that the environment around you makes a big definition in terms of your success. So try and make sure you take your sales calls in an environment where you feel positive, you feel happy, you feel upbeat. If you're in some little shack Airbnb studio apartment, like working off the kitchen sink, it's not going to be like the most high frequency energy coming across the call, and that's going to be felt by the prospect and they're going to be put off from buying. And the last magic bullet I wanted to say for this is the most important thing. The number one thing in sales is storytelling. It's telling stories about yourself and about previous clients. So for example, I want to tell one about myself, and I was talking about how I used to be overweight as a child, how I used to hate fucking eating green vegetables. I wouldn't drink water, all I drink was orange juice. It's actually a true story. How when I started my fitness business, I actually did it the wrong way around. I started with a low ticket offer at £97 for 8 weeks because I didn't know any better. And if I'd gone to high ticket straight away and like had someone teach me to do it, I would have made millions more way quicker. Like, what stories can you tell about yourself? And then what stories can you tell about your prospects? How about my client Dylan, who is from LA, who joined us and he was £600. We helped him drop £200, and we literally have like saved his life. How many fucking people do you see who are 60 years old is £600? Talk about the stories of the clients you've helped who are relatable to the avatar of the person on the other side of the call. And if you can show that social proof on the screen at the same time, that then gets the dot to connect to the prospect's head of problem, solution. This person had the problem, this person solved it. Cool, this must work for me as well. And certainty is what prospects need to buy. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the like button and hit subscribe. And if you want to see more sales trainings below and any more objections broken, drop in the comments of what you need help with. And if you want help in terms of blowing up your own fitness business, there's a link below this video in terms of how you can book in a call with myself and the team. One of the big focuses we do at 7-Figure Scaling Systems is on sales training. We actually review all of your sales calls, you submit them, and we do one-to-one sales trainings with our head of sales. So if you want to get to the next level, I would suggest take action, hit that link below the video, and make sure you subscribe to the channel and see you next video very, very soon.